Hello, everyone. Just let me know if you can hear me because I've switched on to the Scarlett and it recognized my microphone. Let me see if you can hear me, please. Give me a feedback and I'll just, before I start, otherwise I'll find myself talking and nobody hears me like last time. Oh, yeah, Scarlett is still here. So can you guys hear me? I assume that you do. Therefore, but waiting for your confirmation. Otherwise, I have to say hello 5 million times because the microphone is not working. Anyone? Anyone can tell me if you can hear me or not? Can you guys hear me? I have to give you a sign language, for heaven's sake. Anyone? Can anyone answer? Anyone? Anyone? Ferris? Anyone? Anyone? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Come on. Ah, there we go. Finally. Stephen, first letting you know to say hello to you. I haven't gotten around to do your your recording thingy. Just remember, guys, if you can't hear me, let me know right away. Otherwise, because sometimes this system clicks back into a default or just stops working with the Scarlett, which is my better quality mic. So in the middle of our discussion, if you can't hear me, give me a holler. I don't know if you have to send a super chat to get my attention, because I usually could be talking for half an hour and not looking at the screen. But when there's a super chat, it's a big thing and it kind of glows and then it takes my attention. So you can put $1 or 99 cents, and then at least I can realize that there's no sound, and then I stop talking and switch it over to the inbuilt microphone, and we'll get it going. So, having said that, let's say hello to everyone. First of all, Merry Christmas and soon Happy New Year. But wish you guys a very happy holidays, very Merry Christmas, and I know these days, I guess, it's not kind of politically correct to say Merry Christmas, but I don't give a shit. It's Christmas, and I'm not Christian, but it's Christmas. So it's all around the world. I used to celebrate Christmas even though we were not Christian when I was a little kid. We always had trees and, goodies, and, my mother would put gifts, and, it was just like, it was a celebration of Christ. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or not. So, any case, Merry Christmas. And at the religious ceremonies, we celebrate theirs. We're all one people on this earth. Just different messed up brains, but all the same. We all have religions. We all want to be good people, and so on. So we celebrate all of them. Now, having said that, let's say hello to Aman Gatpal is here. Gatpal is here. It says hello, Mehran. 19 Male India. Hello, Aman. Good to see you, dear. Hope all is well for you. Jeffrey says happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Mehran. Merry Christmas, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Stephen says hi, Mehran. Hello, Stephen. And I'll get back to you, Aman. Let's say hello to everyone first. I'll get back to the questions. And Steven says, I'm so glad you're live tonight. I'm glad I'm alive tonight, let alone live. Not feeling well at the moment. I am going to kick you in the butt if you feel not feeling good. I mean, if you, for heaven's sake, just think about it, Steven. If your problems or anyone's problem at this time of the year or any time of the year during your lifetime, your problem is limited to a girlfriend breaking up with you, holy macaroni, you have a good life. Because lo and behold, there are people around the world that if their biggest problem was a girlfriend having left them, they would be celebrating, because that would mean they have no other problems of clean water, food, medicine, shelter, safety. All of that is for you. And for most of us here, we don't recognize and focus on the blessings. We only focus on what we don't have. From the moment we wake up in the morning, we are thinking about what we don't have instead of thinking about what we do have. And that is the problem. We are prone to think that everything should be as we wished it and perfect, and humanity has no challenge. I mean, reasonable challenge of this sort. I'm not talking about you should have bigger problems or bigger challenges. No, who wants that? No, but if the problem is limited to a relationship, a breakup, fuck that. Honestly, nothing happens to you. You go, she left me, she's now with somebody else, or she looks so hot and all that, I don't have her. Okay, big deal. Honestly, that's the end of it. It's not about, I don't have food, I don't have medicine, I've got some illness that can't be cured, or there are bombs coming on my top of my head in the morning by some other power, some other nation, on my nation or on my part of town, or there are gangs and unsafety in different parts of the world, and rapes and killing. None of that shit. So if you really look at it, if your life's problem is this, you're a king. And then we say, who the fuck is she that her leaving you makes you feel you're less? Less than what? And if it was supposed to be that her choice, whoever is in relationship, the other person's choice, would determine your worth and value, well, that would be easy. Then nobody would go to school, nobody would work, nobody would want to be productive in anything. All they would hope for that some hot chick will choose them, then their value would go up. And if that hot chick chooses somebody else, their value go up, your value comes down, and theirs will go down if she chooses somebody else. So honestly, life wouldn't worth shit, because it's all in the hands of who she wants to sleep with. It's ludicrous. It's not really reasonable to think life would be limited to these sort of things, or would be elated for that sort of thing. So if you think about it through, you'll see, for heaven's sake, if you want something to work, then you want something to work. So if it's not working, you don't want something that doesn't work. But when people break up, they say, no, I know it wasn't working. I know, she didn't like me, or she changed her mind, or she's gone nuts, or whatever the hell it is. But I still want someone who doesn't want me. Where's your pride then? Where are your balls? What happened? Where'd you leave him? Some girl doesn't want you, and you say that I want a girl who doesn't want me, instead of saying, the hell with it. She doesn't want me. Who gives a shit? This is your mentality. Otherwise, you'll be always hanging on to someone's decision, someone's preferences, someone's choosing you, all that shit, and you become not independent anymore. Regardless of how many good things are going on in your life, you will become blind to all these blessings, and you'll only see the whole world summed up in her vagina. That's all it is. Because what would a girl who doesn't want you could offer you anything else other than what you're looking for? Sex. Because she says, I don't want you. So she's not going to be a good person to you. She's not going to be accommodating. She's not going to be trustful. She's not going to be unselfish. She's not going to be caring. She's not going to be compassionate. She's not going to bond on conscious level with you. So nothing she's going to offer, but you still say, I want her. Why? Just because of that? Go get it everywhere else. This is Earth. About 4 billion of the 8 billion are women. One better than the other. So stop this moaning and groaning, because honestly, last night my ugly stick was telling me, I'm tired of these idiots who think their life is summed up in someone's vagina or someone's dick or whatever. Sorry to be so speaking French, but that's the only way to get through you. Depending what your relationship is, you're always hanging on to see if you're going to get some, or if they're going to pay attention to you, or if they're going to love you. I have to be loved. Why don't you love world? Love life. Love being good, learning something, accomplishing something, helping others. Love this whole concept of living and find things, abundance out there. Open your eyes and see there is not a thing on this earth that there is only one of it. Other than you, which is a unique part of it, everything else on this world, trees, oceans, water drops, I don't know, birds, animals, anything you think of in this world, fruit trees, food, abundance. Yet, you think, that was the only girl who would want me. And that's the girl that actually right now doesn't want me, but I'm thinking that's the only girl who would want me. Well, the girl doesn't want you, so she wouldn't qualify. Maybe someday, you wanted her because she wanted you, she was nice. But look at her the way she is today. She's not qualified anymore as she used to be at one time. And when she was qualified was when she wanted you, would do things for you, would care about you. And that's why you would have wanted. That's why you were attracted. And that's why you paid attention to her. Now that she doesn't want you, the reasons for you to have paid attention to her and wanted her is gone. So when the reason that you started liking her and paying attention to her is gone, why would you still want her? Remember why you wanted her. Because she was pursuing you. She was pursuing you. She was loving you. She was showing affection. She was making you feel wonderful. Those were your motivations to want her. Those motivations should not exist anymore because she doesn't want you for one shitty reason or another. Who cares? The fact is, for whatever reason, it's her right. She doesn't want you. Whether she's crazy or nuts, or she has any real reason. Who cares? But with that decision, all those reasons for you to have liked her and paid attention to her, wanted her, should also be gone. Because there are no real reason. The reason you wanted her was because she wanted you. She was doing things for you. And she's not doing those things, then why should you want her? What reason do you have? If you focus on what I'm saying, you will see that you're being unreasonable. You want someone who doesn't want you. Where's your respect for yourself? Let's see. Can you guys still hear me? Is it still working? I'm scared of this thing stop working. So, if you have heard that, then you will be in agreement with my ugly stick that says, I'm tired of beating on these people's heads, and they still don't get it all, right. So, every once in a while I say sound is good or not, guys. Let me know. Let me just check and see if it still registers as... Oh yeah, still here. All right. I wonder. Forever it didn't. So remember, you guys have a mandate tonight. Let me know if this thing ever stops, you stop hearing me. So I will get a notification and I will switch it on to a different mic. So, Stephen, that was your recording. If not, let me know. I'll record it for you. From this, I'll record it into the email. And let's see. Let's continue with Stephen and put him at ease, and then we'll go back to other questions. Stephen says, Stephen, male, 40, Los Angeles. And he says, I decided to work night shift tonight to avoid that girl because I had such a hard time dealing with it yesterday. Okay, yeah, she probably just smiles and laughs all the time for no reason, saying, I'm cool, I'm hot, I don't care. That's fine. You gotta read it. It's like a chess game. Once you know the game, you won't get scared because of a move that was made. Okay, there's a counter move for it. And the counter move is, at all times, don't give a shit. Don't pay attention. Move on. Focus on amazing, beautiful girls out there. Honestly, don't try to satisfy your ego. And I used to have history with it. What history? Whatever history was, she's fucking it up. So, good ridden. If it's not valuable to her, that relationship, it shouldn't be valuable to you. That's all. So, and he says, I feel I've made a mistake because I won't be off till 6 a.m. tomorrow. And I don't really talk to any of other workers on this shift. Thank you, Stephen. Says, sounds good. Okay. Yeah, why do you change your schedule, for heaven's sake? I mean, you gotta have some balls. Go out, do your work, and don't give a shit. She says, hi, says, hi, how you doing? Or you can say, how you doing? You know, whatever you want to say. Just don't fall apart. What for? Who is she? What is she? It's your desire that makes her so important. Otherwise, on her own, what has she done that she's so important to you? What she's done is she says, I don't want you. So why would she be important when somebody says, I don't want you? It's your desire that you've programmed for pursuing woman. That's what your program is. You know, so that's what you do. And you think it's her speciality that draws you. No, it's your desire for woman, for sex, for intimacy. That's what your programming is in your gene. So, why are you thinking that, oh, that means, no, you will have the same feeling about another beautiful woman. Another woman that will, kind of hits your fancy. So, it's the same old story as I always said. If you pass by a store that sells apples and you're hungry, is it the apple that is important? Or is it your hunger that makes the apple so important and desirable? Because the next day you just came out of the restaurant, you had just a full tummy of food, and you pass by the same store that sells apple, you just turn and say, I can't even look at another food or whatever it is. So that apple has no value to you that day because you're not hungry. So is it the apple that is important, or is it your hunger that makes the apples important? So is it her that is all that, or is it your desire for woman and intimacy and warmth and all that you're looking for in a relationship that makes her so important? If you can see that, then you can see she's not the real important part in this relationship, especially when they say, I don't want you. Okay, then. It's your desire. It's my desire for this woman that makes her so important. But on her own, what has she done? All she has done is been cold and off and on and hot and cold and pursue you, then not pursue you, unstable butterfly, and then says, I don't want you. So what's so special about that? Like dealing with a crazy person, right? So, having said that, I think you get the gist of it. All right. Yeah, don't change your shift. Yeah, she hasn't, has she? For heaven's sake, you've been going around for a couple of months hungry, like no nothing, no attention, no sex, no nothing. So what is it you want? It's like saying, oh, that restaurant, gave me food a couple of times. And now for 2 years I'm passing by, it doesn't give me food. But I think it's the best restaurant. What best restaurant? You're going hungry, you're dying. Go to another restaurant, get some food. All right, that was your your recording. Record this damn thing. I can't repeat it, especially on good mic now. Now let's go to let's go to Chester. Chester from my hometown, Hawaii. Chester, male 27, Hawaii, says aloha or mele kalikimaka. Omelekalikamaka Chester. And thank you for that. And how's your Christmas? My Christmas is actually very good. I visited my mom yesterday, and then we had dinner at my son's place with Rain, our favorite dog, Husky. And so it was all great. We chatted and relaxed. And then I went for a walk, brisk walk, about 1:30 in the morning by the ocean, and relaxed and had some, I don't know, dried mango and chocolate while I was walking. And it was cool. And tonight I visited my mom and I chatted with my son on text, and then I'm here. I had my dinner and I thought, I say hello, I say I love you guys, and just thinking of you guys and hoping that everything is going good for you guys, and that's what I'm doing. So after that, I'll go for a walk again. And Chester says, I'm very glad you're doing live stream today. Yes, me too. It's the right day for it. Just remember, guys, if you suddenly don't hear me, just give me a holler. Don't worry. I can give you your 99 cents back. You can send it 99 cents super chat, because it catches my eyes wherever I'm looking, and then I can see I got to switch the mic. So Chester says, Maron, I watched your video on the power of the mind. You stated memory is in the past and the future that causes psychological anxiety. My question is, what about people in law enforcement experiencing panic attacks during a shooting? Yeah. It's the memory, because the brain doesn't understand if it's actuality or virtuality. That's why memory has an effect on you. But by understanding that memory, that it's recording, is in your consciousness and you have access to it, does not actually exist, cannot harm you, hurt you, or none at all. It is just that a thought that brain that cannot understand the difference between virtuality and actuality. It's like watching a scary movie and it goes, but everything, even though it's not real, but it reacts to it as if it's real, because at that moment, even if it's a movie you're watching, you're totally involved in the movie and you are not remembering, unless you say, it's a movie, and it takes away the whole fun of the movie. But at that moment, the brain doesn't recognize that this is a make-believe. It reacts to it because it is designed for protection. It is not going to wait and ask, is it real or Memorex? It says, no, it's just, I'm going to run. I'm going to jump. There's a sound of a shooting, or there's a car about to go. And while animal's about to, I'm going to run. I'm not going to think, it's a hologram. Okay, I'll find out later. But at this moment, the brain says, my job is to make things safe for my master. Remember, the brain works for you. Brain is not you. Brain works for you. So it says, I'm going to do what I can for my master. And sometimes it gets fucked up. It gets all messed up and malfunctions, and then like a crazy person who can't make ends, what is what, then it makes you go nuts by suggesting things that are even not comfortable for you. That's when the OCD, HOCD, and all the other things shows up. So be aware that the brain is not you. So you gotta expect it, as any other machine does, malfunction, and be aware of that and wise to that. So when it actually in the memory is reacting to whatever it is, the memory that is uncovered, like in the case of the law enforcement, is a shooting and remembers that and gets panic attack, well, you gotta be able to separate all that. That's a memory. It can never hurt me. It has no actuality to it. But the whole key in being able to have a sound or balanced mental state is recognition of the separation in system of brain, thoughts, and you. If you understand that, and don't make a mistake thinking that the brain is you and what it thinks, it represents you, and it has, it decides for you and all that. If you don't make that mistake, you will be free, because you will be living based on the fact that you're the boss, you're the judge, you are the choice maker, you are the life maker. You have the life of any thought created by the brain in your hand. You decide which thought can have your attention and which thought would be treated like shit and will not be recognized. Would be recognized that it is unworthy and it's not welcomed, and you will call it for what it is, and you will not pay attention to it, because you are the life maker in you, not the brain and its suggestions. So in that sense, if you understand and separate that, even the memories that is going to supposedly trouble you of some trauma or whatnot, you would be in the clarity of understanding that is a memory while it's trying to attack you. That is coming from the brain and the memory and not from me. If it's a memory, you will separate it that it's not alive and it's just virtuality. It's a memory. It's a recording of something that at one time it happened, but right now it's not happening. It's just an echo of it. And if it's an intrusive thought, you will be able to say that this is the brain, it's not me, it's intrusive, not interested, and it can have no effect on me. I will protect my values and identity, me, not the brain. And the brain is like an outsider that calls me a name and I say, fuck off, or I just move on and I don't pay attention to them. It's an outside suggestion. And the brain is also an outside suggestion, nothing more. If you understand that, you will be free. Free of mind and free of thoughts. A freedom for the mankind by understanding this separation. Brain, thoughts, and you. All right. Let's go to, I hope that was helpful to you, Chester. And let's go back to Juanpa is here. Say, Feliz Navidad, Meran. Well, not yet. It's about what? Few days later? Or is it... Oh, it is Feliz Navidad. It means Merry Christmas, huh? Okay, well, Feliz Navidad to you as well. And Pura Vida at the same time. See, I said that one first this time. Juanpa says, male 25, Costa Rica. Good of you to join us. And... now let's go to Aman. Aman says, I have a crush on a girl. I have crush on her from long time. Oh, isn't that beautiful? She don't respond to it. That's all right. All important is that you have a crush. You shouldn't think that having a crush on a girl would only be good if she reciprocates. Now, then that turns into friendship and relationship and all that so forth. That's great, but doesn't always happen, because in your life you will have more crushes than the actual relationship. So enjoy the crush, and don't give it a prerequisite that she must also love me or have a crush on me or pay attention to me, so this crush would mean something. No, it still means great. So, and I'm surprised that this mic works perfectly like before. It's a Christmas gift, I guess. So what's going on? Because for the past, God knows, 10 broadcasts, and this thing suddenly just died, and now it's working. All right. And Aman says, she doesn't respond to it, but my emotions stuck on it. That's all right. Now also, whenever I saw her, I get back on the emotions, but now when I try to let it go, I easily let her be from my thoughts, which gave me trigger that I am turning asexual. Oh, come on. Let me get my stick. Every fucking thing that is going to happen to you, you're going to give it a name? This is such and such sexual. That is such and such sexual. If you happen to see a horse that you think is beautiful, you're going to say, oh, that's a horsosexual. Then I'm worried about being a dogosexual. Or how about a statue that has a round marble or metal shape rounded in the body of whatever the structure was, and now I'm a statue sexual. Stop giving me these names. Stop. Just live. Thoughts. I mean, if I have been talking about this since God knows when, 200, 300 videos later, you're still on the first thing I asked you not to do. Do not label these things as a concept, as a conclusion. Deal with them as a fragment of the humanity that they are. A thought showed up that I'm eating my shit. Okay, it's a thought. It's a glitch. It's a bad thought. That's all. Don't now turn around and say, oh, I think I'm from I don't know, ancestral shit eaters at some point in the world. I must be a shit eater. I must go and live in the bathroom. I mean, this is what you're doing. You give it a conclusion, you give it a label, and you give it a interpretation, and then you don't live life as it comes and goes. You latch on to some shit and give it name and go data hunt it, and you separate yourself from the present moment of life, and you go into memory and conjure up something for future and bring anxieties and all kinds of labels and conclusions and concepts that it's just got nothing to do with what you simply... What the fuck, man? Pardon my French, but that is a new style of, counseling that I'm hoping to maybe make a difference. Hang on, let me turn this light on. We don't have enough. I forgot to turn the light on. All right. So, that's the first thing you got to do. And you have to realize you have an OCD, which is doubting disease, which is what if disease. And these come from people whoever has OCD is usually your above average smarts and intelligence. That's why you kind of go into fucking detail of every cranny and corner and shit that you find in life. That's why you're going to waste your time and life with OCD. You gotta ignore that damn thing. Otherwise, it's going to turn into repetitions of you, the way you treat it, and then you create neuroplasticity, and after that, it becomes your habit to constantly be like this. I'm telling you, this is dangerous. Why? Because it's gonna waste your life. You know, I had all kinds of OCDs since I was a kid. Wash my hands, check the stove, do this, clean that, that's there. All kinds of things. Responsibility OCs, nobody gets hurt because of me. I'm telling you, unless you face that thing, and somehow I had a strong mind. I don't know, maybe I was too sure of myself, or just thought that I controlled the brain, even though I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything I know now. But somehow, in me, since childhood, was a feeling of that I am bigger than thoughts and brain and its function. There is something other than that, so I command it. So whatever these shits came to my mind, I always said they're separated from me, not that they are about me. That was helpful. Even though they would leave their mark and discomfort and I would do compulsions and that, I still would be determined to get rid of it. And I did. I reprogrammed myself. And I'm telling you though, before that happened, the more you do it, the more you're convinced that you gotta do it, because what's the hurt? I'll do it one more time. Watch out for that. Listen to what I'm saying. OCD is bullshit. There's no truth to it. Any subset of it. Any kind of OCD. It's a glitch in the brain that we've talked about it in detail. And it's debilitating features of it's going to ruin your life. Whether it's washing hand OCD, checking the stove OCD, homosexual OCD, pedophile OCD, religious OCD, responsibility OCD, harm OCD, whatever the fuck it is going to, it's not your friend. It's making your brain, who's looking for security, think that if I do this, I'll be secure. If I do this, my parents will be fine. If I do this, they won't get hurt. If I do this, they won't die. You are trying to constantly deal and wheel in order to bring some kind of psychological security. That will not come from dealing with the OCD. The OCD is like a bad drug dealer who just never complies with his promises and just gonna destroy you. Apologies for all the drug dealers, but I meant in a... Some of you probably are good people. You're just in the wrong business. So, so remember, it is about... If there was a devil, it's like dealing with devil. You cannot count on OCD to actually give you what you think it will give you. If I wash my hand 5 million times, I will pass my exam. I've done all that shit. None of it is true. If I walk over this block a few times, this whatever crease in the asphalt, the girl that I want to ask out, she'll say yes. But if I don't, she may say no. Bullshit. If that was the Thank you, guys. I'm so pissed off. So, how long has it been since I've been talking? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Can you hear me now, guys? Oh, God. How long have I been talking? Well, that's a good way to make some money, though. I've got $7 just for people trying to tell me. Oh, I hate it when this happens. So, how long, Chester, was that you calling me? How long have I been talking and nobody heard me? I hated that. I hate it because, I don't know what I was saying. Darn it. Well, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Damn it. I'm so pissed off. Okay, remind me where I was. Maybe I can repeat it. He was about, what was it about? Yeah, Chester. So where was it that I cut off? Like, remind me a little bit of the last few sentences. Sunny Boy says, hi, Meran. Female, 17, Italy. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Sunny. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. How do you say it in Italian? Maybe I learned something. I forgot. I remember we used to travel to Italy when I was a kid with my parents, but it's been a long time ago. My wife's uncle is, no, my wife's uncle, I'm sorry, my uncle's wife. My uncle's wife. It's not real uncle, but it's my father's best friend, and his wife is Italian, and we all, of course, knew all of us were living in Iran at the time. So, but I haven't been to Italy for a long time now. Aman says before the second question. The second question. Where was the second question? I knew that's going to happen. When I got too involved in my work and enjoying it, I feel like I never look emotion on this, then I didn't have. And when I get too involved in my work and enjoying it, I feel like I'll go asexual because I'm not. That's the part I. Is that the question? I said the problem is that you guys give a label to everything, and I don't know where it was. So I'm going to leave it because I'm not going to try to reconstruct it, unfortunately. Maybe we will eventually talk about it in some other occasion because I think I've lost the mood. I've lost the mood. Because I get into the zone and I ride the waves, but I don't know what I was saying right now. Total disappointment. So let's go on to next question. Mm-hmm. And Reborn 07 says, hi Miran, male 27 from Chile, South America. They've got great fruits and great horses. and hope you are right. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well. Yes. Thank you. Stephen says, I know you're going to hit me with the ugly stick, but after this girl began pulling away, my previous ex contacted me and you said yes, huh? I'm going to shh. Okay. Let me. It made me think of memories we had and how much she loved me. I always pushed her. Yeah, that's not the right one. Just because this one didn't work out doesn't mean it's the right reason to go down, because you said no to that one before this one was ever in the picture. So, uh, you know, it was disqualified regardless. And says how much she loved me. I always pushed her. No, don't you remember? She would go out drinking and then she would show up at your door at the middle of the night, and it was weird. It was weird, and you would never see, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the mother was taking care of the child that she had. So don't you now try to go on a temper tantrum and try to kind of punish the world in your mind, say, oh, if this didn't work, I'm going to go for that, and doesn't matter if I'm just going to destroy my life, but I'm just going to go. And because you have the need to be considered loved by anything. There was a advertisement on TV a long time ago. It was a chocolate, and it was the devil sitting on the other side of the table, business table, and the agent was sitting here and said, we like this chocolate. We want the recipe. We will give you this much money. And he says, not enough. He said, we give you this much money. And the devil says, not enough. So we give you this much money. He says, not enough. So we give you anything. The devil says, anything? And so this is what you guys are putting yourself in without recognizing that in order to make yourself feel better of something that doesn't deserve your attention, but yet you want that what does not deserve your attention in order to feel worthy. How dumb is that? I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying how dumb is that? Because we're mostly bamboozled by the brain. We think brain is smarter than us. But brain is a stooge. It works for us. We just were never told that the brain is like an intestine. It has a mandate. It has a job to do. The intestine job is to get food and, turn it into energy and get the refuse and feces out. That's its job. And the brain's job is making thoughts and suggestions, trying to protect you by coming up with all negatives and what if. That's his job. And then both of them can go nuts and malfunctioning. But in the case of intestine, you have no problem understanding when you have a diarrhea, you clearly say, oh, that's not me. I'm not that. Very clear and sharp and sure. Oh, that's not me. It's a malfunction, a bug, something. Because it's not normal. You're not like this. But in the case of the brain, suddenly you say, oh, I've been heterosexual all my life, but the brain says you're homosexual today. Or you've been homosexual all your life, and the brain says you're heterosexual today. Or whatever your sexuality is, today the brain suggests something else. And you say, oh my goodness, I'm changing. That must be me. Why? What's the difference between your intestine malfunction and you can see it is out of normality? It's not what you've always used to intestine behave. And you call it for what? Hey, that's diarrhea. That's not me. But the brain part, you have a problem thinking that it so also malfunctions. Oh, that's HOCD. It's not me. That's all you have to do. It's the brain. It's not me. Instead you say, oh, that's never been me, but maybe it is now today. Why? Brain is no different than your liver, your intestine, your whatever else part of your entity is. It works for you. It has a job to do, and it can malfunction. just any other part. You just don't want to recognize it because nobody told you that the brain is also the same as your intestine. Since childhood, you've been thinking that the brain is you, is the intelligent part of you. In fact, brain is not the intellect. And the work of Dr. Roger Sperry, neurosurgeon in 1930s, proves that. Work of neurosurgeon Wilder Penfield, Dr. Wilder Penfield, proves that. Work of neurosurgeon, neuroscientist Dr. Owen proves that. Work of Dr. Schwartz proves that. These are all scientific studies and experiments beyond the shadow of the doubt that the materialists have been destroyed in their discussion about everything is matter and the brain is everything, and it's been shattered, that theory, since God knows when. And everybody is now understood that there is a beyond the brain, which is you. And in fact, has the ultimate power of choice and judgment in its hand. That's the me. That's the one that vetoes the decisions that the brain can suggest. And that was work of Dr. Leibet, which won a Nobel Prize, I believe, for his studies on this particular subject. Dr. Sperry won a Nobel Prize, I believe, for his work. That's when he actually severed the corpus callosum, which is the bundle of fibers that connects the two sides of the hemisphere of the brain, and proved that even if you break it, the person doesn't change. So if it was all material, who we are, when you cut the brain, we should also become two people or messed up totally. But there was no change. It took a Nobel Prize study to find subtle changes, even when you have cut the brain in half. So our life and intellect is not in the brain. It still operates. Dr. Owen proved that even when the brain is crushed and the person is in a vegetative state and nobody even can believe that that person can comprehend anything, through his examinations and through his experiments, he proved that even if the brain is smashed through accident or something that happens, the brain, the intellect of the brain, even doing math, it's still there. They cannot touch it. The intellect is not material. So you're telling me the suggestion of the brain that you're a homosexual when you've always been heterosexual, suddenly, because you're uninformed, that your inclination, your preferences, your genetic makeup, your sexuality, your gender is not changeable, modifiable, suggested to change by a thought of the brain. That is like the intellect outside of the brain. You cannot simply be bamboozled by the brain and believe these bullshit. I plan at one time create all these experiments and explain them to you in a separate video. Because the solution to your problems, to almost anyone's mental problem, is not understanding the fact that you are not the brain. Brain is separate from you. You are the boss of the brain as you're boss of everything else in your body. And the brain is not the intellect, is not the awareness, is not the wisdom. The brain is material, but what you are is beyond material. That's why you can override and veto. Like the experiment that the Leibet did. You know what he did? He brought a bunch of people into the laboratory, And the experiment was that they had a clock with a sweeping hand that was going second by second, and everybody, all the participants could see it. At the same time, he was monitoring everyone's brain with the electrodes and figuring out and measuring the magnetic fields and electrical pulses and activities in there. And so then he asked them that I want you guys to make a decision, a simple decision, like pushing a button in front of you or whatever it is, and then record, notice when is the second that you make that decision to push the button. And make a note, record it. So everybody did. They made a decision to push the button at a certain time and they recorded it. And at the same time, Dr. Levitt was measuring all the brain activities of all these participants. So then later on, they asked the participant, when was the time that you made the decision to push the button? He or she said, at this exact second on the hour, this second of the movement of the sweeping hand. And then Dr. Levitt checked that person's file and the measurements of the activities at that same very moment. Notice that about half a second before the time that this person says he made a decision, there was a spike in the brain, which they call it, I guess, preparation to make a decision. I'm just translating. It has some kind of a special name, which I am not privy to. I forgot. But let's put it this way. So they noticed there was a spike in the brain half a second before that person actually said when he made that decision to push the button. So the materialists use that study, say, hey, see, there is no free will. The brain decides for you. Because before you made the decision, half a second before that, there was a spike. But then Dr. Levitt said, hold on. We did something more. When he was publishing his studies, he says, no. When he was presenting it, he says, no, hey, we did something more. Which totally refuted the materialist saying that everything is matter. Without, other than brain, there's nothing else. That's what their thesis were. So Dr. Levitt said, we did something else. This time we said to the whole participant again, do the same thing. But when you make a decision to push the button, they say, I push the button. No, I won't. I want you to veto it. Push the button. No, I won't. Then they also recorded when they decided to push the button, and they recorded when they decided that they won't. They would veto the decision of pushing the button. And then all the brains were being monitored. So Dr. Levitt looked at every single one of them. And notice that before that decision was made to push the button, there was a spike in the brain, in the electromagnetic field, as we discussed. But when the veto was taking place, there was no spike. There was no spike in the brain. There's no activity in the brain. Meaning, the veto power is not part of the brain. Meaning, there is something beyond the brain that has the power to choose and veto what the brain could, even if it was true that it was in control. Which means, definitely, the brain is not in control. Definitely, you had the last say. You have the last say. Definitely, you are the power to select and veto, and you are the one who has the power of giving life to any thought, because you are the only one who can make it possible for a thought to become alive, to become an action, an actuality, or die right there, because you are the one with the power of veto. And that power of veto has nothing to do with the brain. There is no spike preparation for that decision, as it was when you were making the decision to push the button. All these studies are beyond the shadow of the doubt that you're not the brain, brain is not you. Understand this. That was just one or two. There are more. I'm going to put it on that other video, and hopefully it will help you guys to understand yourselves better and become free from this whole bullshit of mental sicknesses and diseases and mental problems and confusions and OCDs and HOCDs and pedophile OCDs, religious, all kind of OCDs that makes you do compulsions or fall into it and believe it, be bamboozled and think that actually something else makes decision for you, including your sexuality, which is hogwash. All right, all right, all right. Don't tell me you didn't hear me what I said. If you say there's no sound, I'm going to break this fucking thing. So, by this explanation, you should now know that there is no fear from HOCD because it's just a hoax. It's just a brain's malfunction, brain's hoax, brain's suggestion, brain's activity out of anxiety, brain's trying to interpret things that it's not even there, and all the other things that you come up with, it's all irrelevant to you. And that's because the root of it is irrelevant, meaning the brain is not you. So what it suggests is just what it does out of negativity, out of protecting you, out of anxiety, out of being perfectionist, that I am the best, and oh, that guy is better looking than I am. Oh, maybe then that takes my chances away. Then you say, oh, there's a certain kind of a respect. Oh, maybe that the respect, it translates to interest, and that was same gender, so that means a homosexual interest. All that interpretation is a bullshit that goes right into the brain in a matter of nanosecond, and then you think, oh, I'm changing. I've been living in denial. All that nonsense. All these scientists, neurosurgeons, have proven to you that these are all malfunction of the brain, and you shouldn't think more of it. It doesn't matter what context it comes to. It's all nonsense. Believe it that we are not perfect. We are not made in the image of your God, whatever you believe in, to think that, oh, then whatever comes to my head is not a malfunction. Cannot be a malfunction because I'm perfect. No, we're not perfect. We're fucked up. Our brain is fucked up. Lots of things goes wrong. Our biology messes up, gets diarrhea, and the heart and the kidneys and this and that all have their own glitches and malfunctions. So does the brain. How come when it comes to this you just fuck up? Oh no. All right. Where are we? Maybe I should purposely every once in a while just shut off the sound. Say, is there a sound? Let me know, and then I pretend I don't hear it. Then you guys keep putting super chats. But these things are just unacceptable. $2? Are you ashamed? There's Stephen, what the hell is that? It's supposed to be $200. Don't mind me, guys. I'm probably on something that I didn't know. It must be my food or something. I'm just having fun with you guys. All right, looks like a family here. That's why we're having fun. So, let's see. I wish that sound didn't shut off. I think I was saying, I don't even remember what I was saying. But all that means I got to make that separate video. Reborn, I'm not going to say that I'm getting pissed off because I understand that you guys just going through a hard time. But I really want you to focus what you're saying. You say, I've been fighting with another thought all this year. It makes me anxious. I decided to ignore it and just let it go. But it has repeated so much that my mind says that maybe I want to do it. You see, that's the whole thing about it. You go to the gym and make your body strong, you have nutrition, you make sure that you're healthy, but you don't take care of your brain. You don't strengthen your brain to have that power in your brain, conviction, to protect your values and identity. To the point that when there's a thought that appears in your head more than a certain number of times, you start giving in. Well, maybe it's true. Is that how it's going to be if you were going from the home to school, at whatever age you are? Let's say you're in college age, and then somebody walks around and says, "Hey, let me do this to you, or why don't you let me have my way with you? Or hey, listen, I need," and keep telling the guy, "Hey, fuck off! What are you talking about?" But you're telling me that if that person keeps showing up for enough number of time, that you're actually going to comply to what he's requesting? Because that's what you're telling me when you're telling me the brain's thought that have been showing up and you've been dealing with it, and then it showed up so many times that I think that maybe so that means if anybody suggests to you enough number of time and nonsense or something that you're not interested in, you're going to get convinced that it's okay. That's the weakness of the mind, and not appreciating that your mandate is to protect your values and identity. That includes your manners, includes your morals, includes your values, includes your sexuality, includes your gender, includes everything that is meaningful, includes your faith if you have one. These are what you're supposed to protect. These are your address to take you through this journey of life. You gotta have an address. Where's your destination? Destination is where all these things come with you. That's how you travel, with your values. You don't leave your values because some fucking idiot started suggesting certain things to you, or your brain started showing up same image or same thing and constantly trying to loop it over, and then you're going to say, oh yeah, okay then, I'm a cow, I'm a couch, I'm a sofa, I'm a bottle, or my gender has changed. What's the difference if it's by the suggestion of other people that you end up doing something, or suggestion of your brain? Then you've got no real understanding of what your purpose of existence is to create those values, that your identity is stuck to it, is connected to it, and you protect that. You're supposed to protect these things from things. There are attacks of all kinds in our lives on us. Attack on our economic system, attack on our jobs, attack on our families, attack on our values, and attack by our own brain or other people who are actually perverts in your case, and they want to have you do certain things. That's why our parents from childhood teach us, hey, don't talk to strangers. But yet if it's repeated so many times, you what? They're gonna go, oh, okay. No, you're supposed to protect. Attacks from your own brain happens to you. And your mandate is to protect all these values in your core principle, in your super consciousness, in your gatekeeper, in your wise advocate, as Dr. Schwartz called it, and gatekeeper, as Dr. Philipson calls it. And these are the psychologists who are expert in OCD and HOCD and all subsets of OCD, that if you need to, you're supposed to contact your psychotherapists and learn about what the role of the brain is. And you will see with all these scientific data, brain is another apparatus, another tool, and it should be only dealt in that capacity. Brain is not you. You're not the brain. Don't be fooled. And we go. And Stephen says, she contacted me. It made me think of memories we had and how much she loved me. I always pushed her away because she had 2 kids. So there we go. Plus, would go crazy at times. There we go. And she'd blame it on her Birth control, but I miss the companionship. Okay. How much does this companion? How much does a companion? It's like saying, I'm hungry and I remember the food that I had, but I know that food made me throw up. It was poison. I got poison, food poisoning, and I had to go to the hospital. But you know what? I missed the taste of having that warm food while I was having it, and I hadn't vomited yet. That's exactly what you're saying to me right now. All those problems with that relationship, but I miss the companionship. Well, listen, it's a trade off. Are you willing to put up with all that for that companionship, or should you become strong enough mentally to understand that, hey, you got to look for quality? Hmm? Come on now. You can't just say, because I'm hungry, I'm going to eat that sandwich that looks like it's got mold on it and it's been in the garbage in the corner of the street. You're supposed to understand, regardless of what it's called, it's still called food, but it's stale food and it's dangerous for me to have it. It's not going to do me good, even though it may look like I'm chewing something, but it's not going to do me good once it goes down there. Same thing in relationship. You can't choose just because you want to have companion. You got to have the right companion. All right. Chester says, it was helpful, Mehran. Thanks for the advice. You're quite welcome, dear. And Sanket Gaekwad says, hi. Hi, Sanket. Could you let us know a little bit about you? Like a protocol in here is like, what is your gender? What is your age? And where are you tuning in from? Like male, I don't know, 30, and I don't know, Singapore, whatever. 3 little things, yeah? And Shaizen Khan says, Merry Christmas, Mehran. Merry Christmas to you as well, Shaizen. And Chester says, Mehran is giving the tough love to us because he cares for us. Yes, I do. I damn well I do. And you guys better remember it. I don't know any of you from Adams, is that what the expression is? But I love you all. And I want you guys to have that freedom that we all deserve, especially as young men and young women. If you don't know about your own psyche, how it's put together, you're going to be tricked 5 million times more than you'll be tricked with people out there. Because the brain is a real son of a bitch if you don't know how it's put together and how it should be treated, how it should be trained, and how you should deal with it, and to what extent you consider it, what it does, pay attention to it, and to what extent and where not, and what is above the brain. You got to know all these things. Bruce Lee said, the biggest obstacle in your life is your own brain. Mr. Krishnamurti said, thoughts are the roots of all problems. It's true. We had no problems 40,000 years ago when we had only stem brain. Why we had no problems? Because we had no thoughts, no speaking abilities, and there were no thoughts. There were no intrusions. There were no suggestions. There were no doubts because there were no thoughts. Everything was hardwired. Everything was clear. Your lifestyle, your hunting, your sleeping, your eating, your drinking, your sex, your sexuality, your gender, everything clear. No interpretation and no bamboozling and no confusion of any sort, because there was no thoughts to suggest otherwise than what you naturally were. And you were not, therefore, had to be smart enough, or you were not stupid enough to believe what something that shows up in your head would actually have any actuality, because it never did. But because we were not able to speak or have such sophisticated thinking ability, we had no problems. It was all natural. But when 40,000 years ago we started having these sophisticated type of brain, that it was beyond the stem brain, beyond living instinctively, and the problems started. Thoughts and speech, words, conclusions. I have a video coming up tonight, which luckily was part of the videos that I made, and the distortion was not so big, so I could upload one of them for you today, and there's another one coming tomorrow. And then the other, just no good, so I have to rebuild, and I'm going to rebuild a better one, but when I get around to it. So I'm going to upload one for you too, and I want you all to watch. It's about 9 minutes. You will get a thing or two out of that. And that's my mission, to get you guys to become tough in understanding how to protect yourselves. Not to give in with the malfunction of the brain, and suddenly you go from up and down, and then up and down, and then this way and that way, and all because what? Thought. We can think. Fuck that. If it's a malfunctioning brain or malfunctioning system that can malfunction, then you got to be aware of it, and then help it to heal, and train it to become strong, and understand its place, and separate, and understand the separation between brain, thoughts, and you. That's when the freedom of mankind is realized. All right. Thank you for that. Just there. Chester. Chester said, Mayron. Okay, yeah, we got that. And Reborn says, counseling with the stick that frightens even the more intrusive thought. Yeah, that intrusive thought is going to help you, but the others no. This is a friendly intrusive thought is coming your way. You're lucky that there's COVID-19. I can't fly around the world with my ugly stick and beat you eyes on the head, provided you have your motorcycle helmet on. I got to be covered, not threatening on air. And then, all right. So we have Chinmay says, sir, what do you do when you dream of the person that you're trying to forget since a year? Also, certain songs and environments remind me of her, and it's painful to keep going back and questioning. It's not like I'm stuck on her and unwilling to move on. In fact, I've made great progress and accepted it for what it is, but every romantic movie song, it pulls you back and paints that picture. So what? You're a man. You're built to take hardships in life, to build ships and sail oceans. You're a man. You're built to take hardships and go and provide for you and for your family. You're a man. You're built to take suffering and defeat it. So what? These good memories come, enjoy it. So, oh, lovely. I remember that. It was good. So that's it. But you're not supposed to say, oh, that was the only thing good about this life. That's why you're sad. When we have emotion, we remember things. Or movies, especially Indian movies, are all, happy ending. And you say, oh, they all got happy ending, but not me. No, you're happy ending. In fact, in many cases, some things that don't go the way you expect it to go is the actual happy ending that's supposed to go, because in the future, there's something else better that is supposed to be coming your way. That if this was still going on, that wouldn't have happened. So focus on what you should be focusing, studying, and do your studies and prepare for your life, get a good job and all that. And in the meantime, that other thing will take care of itself, and you will see other opportunities as you grow up, get older. You're just, 19, 17, 18, 16, 20, something like that. It's just the beginning of life. And these things are not supposed to be happening at this end, at this part of your life. Like, these relationships are not supposed to work. They're supposed to just be for a while and then not work, because you guys don't even know yourselves yet, let alone know what kind of woman you want, or she knows what kind of man you want. That's like a warm-up. It's not a tournament. It's not a real tournament. It's a warm-up. Getting to know each other. Getting to know what this game is all about. That's what it is good for. That's how you should look at it. And then you'll be fine. Sunny Boy says, am I right? Italy 17, female happy holidays. Oh, yeah, we saw that one. Jeffrey says, Jeff, your mail 33 Toronto. Sound not working on my end. Okay. Don't tell me it's not working now. It's working now. Is it? Okay. All right. And Atif says, can I hear? Okay. Melanie says, hi, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Melanie, dear. And okay, 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 okay. All right, all right. Yeah. Melanie says, I can't read lips. That's for when the sound was gone. That was funny. I didn't see it, so anyhow. So it's my valuable answer. Okay. All right. Atif says, I think I'm starting to read his lips. This is what you guys, it was going through your heads while I was going on and not noticing the sound was off. And Reborn says we have to wait to the end. He's inspired now. Yeah, damn right. You guys inspire me. Oh God. Every morning I wake up, so oh God, I gotta repeat all that again for somebody else. Watch the videos. Okay, all right. All right. And Carpe Diem is here, Mail 42 Canada, and thank you for being here, Carpe Diem. And Sajal says, what if I've lied to my partner and now I'm guilty? How to build trust again? Oh, just don't lie anymore. That's all. Melanie says, yes, okay, good. So that's when the sound came back. All right, let's see where we are. Sunny says, in Italian, Buon Natale. Buon Natale or Bon Natali, or I know in French is Bonne Année and Happy Noel, Feliz Navidad in Spanish, I guess. Italian, so it's Bon Natal or Natale or Nathalie, I don't know how to end the sounding there. Chin may say you said you had washing hands. Yeah, I had OCD. Yeah, I was this kid. I remember, but somehow from the childhood, I was testing my brain, my will. I was testing my will. Like I remember, I was crying. I don't know how old I was when 7-year-old, 8-year-old. I don't know how old I was, or maybe 6-year-old. I don't know. I remember I was washing my face and I was crying. I don't know, I was scolded or something at home. I'm in the middle of my crying. I said, and I was just alone by myself trying to wash my face and wash my hand or whatever it was. And I said, let's see if I can smile in the middle of the crying. And while I was crying, I quickly said, and then I said, then I went back to crying. Then I tried again. So from childhood, I had this idea that I am beyond my thoughts. I should be the power. Nothing should control me. Nothing should dominate me. I am the power beyond what I am feeling or what I am led to believe. And that was a good thing. So, but then I had OCD all kinds, wash hands. When I was wanting I remember once I was much older then. I wasn't a kid anymore. But when I was, it was a some kind of a birthday event at my brother's and his wife, and I chose to wash the dishes after the dinner to help out. And that washing dishes took a long time because I was making sure everything is really washed clean. And so my brother's wife came and says, next time I'm not going to ask to wash dishes because it took so long. She was just being funny about it. And then during childhood, I remember when I was taking the bus to go to school, I had this other OCD thing of making noise, like, as if I wanted to finish the note, the sound of that note at the ending note. You know how music's, if they're not finished on the right note, it feels awkward, like da 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 ba ba. That's not ending. It's supposed to be da 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 ba ba. You see what I'm trying to say? So for me, it was like I had to end in tone in a certain proper notish ending. So, and that would be hard to stop the damn thing. It's like a crazy. But the idea of it was that if I don't do that, then something bad might happen to my parents. It was all about psychological security. And then I had this thing that I had to look so many times that way in case. Like I notice something, then I got to do it 4 more times. It was all about if I don't do it, like I won't pass my exam or I would do something weird, like, something bad will happen. And what else? Cleaning things, like responsibility OCD. I had a responsibility OCD that no harm should come from me to other people, especially people that I love or anybody. I should not be cause of any harm. And that went on causing checking the stove and making sure that I'm not going to be causing any, fire or trouble for places that other people could be harmed or become involved. So, and I had all kinds of OCDs. That's why. And then I had OCD of, did I move in this way? And was that a bad move for my knee? Or is my back is going to, why? Because I thought I'm responsible to take care of my life, my family's life. And if something happens to me, how can I then do that? And then someday I would like to be still healthy to do sports and do other things that I've completed my responsibilities and I now want to live my life. So for 2 reasons, of serving others, my loved ones, and also being able to enjoy life when the time comes. So I was always becoming meticulous and concerned and conscious about what movement I did and if that movement was not good for my health, that is going to diminish my abilities to attend to my duties and responsibilities to my loved ones, or for my enjoyment to do the things that I wanted to do, to feel that I'm still perfect. It all goes back to that feeling of perfection. Perfectionist people mostly are having OCD of some kind. I have to be the best, I have to be most popular with the girls, supposedly, or if it's sex, I have to be able to be with my girlfriend the best way she's ever had, or be just the gorilla that I can be. I have to be able to accomplish something the best way. everything is about perfectionist. And that leads to HOCD, OCD, pedophile OCD, harm OCD. Not that I had all these things. No, just saying it leads to all kinds of OCDs coming from perfectionism. So it's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's the fact that you want to be best in everything. And that puts a focus that your brain goes and finds any kind of a possible danger that could take that chance of being perfect in that thing away from you. So then it conjures of all things and you run with it in order to protect that perfectionism, and it just becomes a habit of interpreting bullshit. So I decided to reprogram myself. I would do weird things. I would just make a move and think, oh, that wasn't maybe that was harmful to my knee. So I would do that same behavior, same move, few times to see mechanism of the body. Can it handle that or not? It was all checking to be sure. You know how you want to be sure in OCD, all kind of OCDs? Or sometimes when you're driving, you think you hit someone. Did I hit someone? I didn't hear anything about the car, but maybe I did. It was too close. So you turn around a block wanting to see if anybody there, or you fall into a ditch, boom, you say, oh, maybe that did something to my back, so maybe I go back and see what kind was it, or maybe it broke some kind of an axle of my car, so I go and see what kind, how deep was it. So you check all these things. These are all roots, are all in OCD. So I decided that's bullshit. I gotta reprogram myself. So methodically, it's like you forget that your body has the ability to endure all these things and not so easily can be hurt. So, but sometimes in the brain, the glitches is that it forgets that it's okay. It can handle all these things. It checks, oh, was it okay? Did I do something? Am I still okay? Then I started reprogramming myself. So in other words, like I gave it a whole library of what things body and muscles and joints can do and they won't get hurt. So I had to reprogram myself. It took a while, but success. If you have a determination that, and you see that something is wrong and you're honest about it, you start doing something about it. But then I didn't even know what I know now, because years of research and study has made a big difference in my understanding of OCD, in addition of personal experiences in all different kinds of OCDs. I researched and understood that all those philosophers that I read about and all things that we were taught in martial arts and all things that I studied and researched with teachings of Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti about the movement of the brain, movement of the psyche, thoughts, consciousness, how they're put together, how they come about, how they're born, fear, desire, ego, pleasure, mechanical process, all these, for years I studied them. It's important to know how you're put together, because then you can fix almost anything. Because becoming aware of the separation between brain, thoughts, and you, that's the key. I have a video coming up tomorrow morning, and then I will make a real good, elaborate, long video about the evidence, scientific evidence of all these discovery of the philosophers in the many years past, that the brain is not you, you're not the brain, and separation of thoughts, brain, and you, and all the other parts of the psyche. But now in scientific way, it's all been proven. Neuroscientists have proven it, with all published in journals and so on. So Stanford, I don't know when I'll do it. Oh, we've got a super chat. We've got a 14, now my goodness, we've got $4.99 from Chester. Sid says, Meron, the audio, oh, come on now. Don't tell me the audio is not working. Honestly, audio is not working. Oh, I'm getting chill everywhere. Sid, Chester, when did you send that? You mean all these things that I've been talking you guys didn't hear? Could someone give me a feedback? Or is it the old one? Hmm? Guys, can you guys hear me? Did you hear what I said all this long? Or was I talking to myself again? Oh, it works. Okay. So you guys heard me. God, I got. Oh, so it was the old one. Okay. So thank you, Chester. I just saw your super chat, $4.99, and then again, Chester for $14.99 says, "Here's a small Christmas present. I know it's not that much, but may you use it to buy more hot tea and dry mangoes." Oh yes, yeah, that's for sure. $14.99 will give me a good jar of dried mango. It's usually $10, $11, so I'll have channel will will give a part. Thank you very much, Chester. Very lovely and mahalo. And you don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that. Nobody has to do any super chats. Uh, I appreciate the love, and I know you guys are all each having your own economic challenges, so don't feel obligated. But it is always appreciated to support the channel. Melanie says it's working for me, so okay, good. Steven says it works, okay. Samo says, no, it's fine. The audio is working perfectly. Okay, thank God, because I really don't, and intermix sounds good. Steven says he's saying off it doesn't work. Carvidium says it's fine. Oh, okay, good. Steven says he's asking how to notify you in case. Oh, says Meron, if the audio doesn't work again, what is the best way to fastest way to notify you? Well, I guess Super Chat won't do it because unless it's red. Actually, we had a red Super Chat once. The highest amount of Super Chat we had was $200 at one time from our special subscriber who always supports this channel, Carpe Diem. And that was a big super chat. So, and every little bit of it, of any one of you, all appreciated the same way. But I'm just saying that the red caught my attention. So the best way to notify me, I saw the Skype was good. The Skype was the best way. That's how I got to know it. Thank you, Chester. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't answer it, but that's the best way. So the ones who have been my clients on Skype actually have that Skype address and they can use it perfectly. And 1-9 says, I'm very late today. Melanie says, mangoes are good. Yeah, they are, aren't they? They just, every time I go for a walk at nighttime, like for the sea walk, I don't know, a kilometer and a half going, kilometer and a half coming back, at least 3 kilometers, I believe. I have lots of mangoes and cashew nuts and dark chocolate, and I have a feast while I'm walking. And usually I'm watching a research of some kind or scientists or whatnot, and I try to see how it applies to what I want to share and how I want to use it. And so I search for those. So it's quiet, nobody's there. It's me and the ocean and the sea walk. It's cold, crisp, 1 degree Celsius. So my fingers freeze when I'm trying to hold this, and especially when I forget to take any gloves. So I hope for the day that before I'm too old, that we'll have enough funds in the company, in the channel, and the COVID bullshit is gone, and people are having a normal life and they can travel again. And we could somehow raise enough funds to gather in some workshop somewhere in the world and have a few days or a week of workshop, which there's so many things I can share with you guys. And I look forward to that day. That would be great. And hopefully we can have that in Hawaii. So we can also enjoy the beauty of the nature and the energy. Did you know Hawaii it lies on a certain kind of a altitude and latitude that supposedly is calculated has got the most amazing healthy energy in that particular area. I don't know how it's calculated, but it's amazing. And for me, it's like it's heaven. Like when I go there, it's like that's where I belong. And Pane Naik says, "Hey Mehran, hello Pane. Don't forget, guys. Every time you say hello, please include your protocol, gender, age, where you're tuning in from, because I don't remember. I remember the screen names, but not necessarily the rest of it." And Penny says, "Mehran, have you tried doing a podcast?" What is this then? Isn't it a podcast? I tried to learn how it is, but it seemed a little bit complicated. So I thought, well, this is a podcast. What's wrong with this? You know. But in podcasts, I guess I hear your voices, and maybe, as I mentioned before, we can do a Zoom if enough people, register for the members, $25, for non-members, $50, and 10 people maximum every time that we have a Zoom meeting, and then it will be just something that we can do. Pranay is 17, male, India. Podcast, I really don't know how to do it. I mean, as far as equipment and connections, and it's just I gotta look into it. Let's fry this fish first. Let's see if this gets in. So it's 10:50. I've got 10 more minutes before it hits 11, and I'm like Cinderella. When it hits 11, I'm not supposed to be talking anymore because my voice carries and it disturbs my neighbor. And she's an older lady and she wants to have her rest, and I can understand that. So, Pernace Nake says, podcast, there's just an audio like on Spotify. I don't even know what Spotify is. I've never used it, know what it is. I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is really. So it's 10:51, 9 more minutes, guys. We'll just, but still I'll have the live streaming tomorrow at 1 p.m., which is tomorrow is Saturday, 1 p.m. Is it Saturday? I think it's Saturday. It's 1 p.m. tomorrow. And then 9 p.m. at night time. Yeah, tomorrow is Saturday, Boxing Day. So we'll have 1 p.m. Vancouver time tomorrow and 9 p.m. Vancouver time as usual. But tonight I thought it would be appropriate to have one just extra. What do you think? So it looks like we have answered all the questions, and I'm sorry about the disconnection of the part that you guys couldn't hear, and I'm more unhappy about it because I think it was a good segment that I could chop it up as one standalone video for its own title and to use it that way for upload. But here we go. So no more questions, I guess. So this is time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and allowing me to share a thing or two with you. I hope that you will have a wonderful evening tonight, the rest of the evening, wherever you are in the world. I'll try to mosey on with my walk by the beach and maybe catch a little bit of connection with the nature and perhaps do some meditation out by the sea in the cold, and of course walk back and then maybe watch some, I don't know, play some chess or watch Bonanza. or whatever it is. I wish you guys having a wonderful, comfortable evening with your families, wherever you are. Be safe and keep yourself healthy. And I look forward to talk to you again, hopefully tomorrow. In the meantime, Daniel, too late. Come tomorrow. 1 o'clock Vancouver time or 9 o'clock Vancouver time. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I love you all again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.